Small and weak, and lost and alone in the dark, the journey through lonesome caverns and ancient lands tests one's very soul. Many end up losing their way, succumbing to the darkness within. Many need a guiding light, a gentle hand, a warm place by the fire, and the comfort and care shown has as profound an impact on the giver as the receiver, as even those who seek to provide a safe haven may themselves be lost souls, seeking the comfort of a far-off, uncertain horizon. But all of this feels somewhat familiar, as though it is a window into the balance and texture of one's very soul. There's a reflection to be seen in this somber little puzzle game called The Last Campfire, in an anime I watched several years ago. This might seem like an odd comparison, but I would like to take a moment to regale you with a brief overview of the anime series Death Parade. In summary, Death Parade follows the exploits of beings known as Arbiters, who are all part of an organization dedicated to judging the souls of recently deceased human beings. More specifically, it tells the story of an Arbiter named Dekim, his superior Nona, and his assistant, a young woman who remains nameless for most of the series. So how does the story of otherworldly arbiters have thematic parity with the story of a little creature called Ember, who journeys through ancient lands helping others of their kind? Well, there are nuances to both of these things. As the last campfire unfolds and you continue on your journey, you learn that this is a place where embers go when they lose their way, not knowing the way forward or how to get back home. What is this strange and mythical journey the Embers are on? What were they hoping to achieve before they ended up here? We never get those questions answered. All we know for sure is that those who stay in this place for too long become consumed by their emotions, losing their sense of self and of purpose, and literally turn to stone, a state that the game refers to as turning into a forlorn. Each forlorn you meet has a different worry, a different burden, a different puzzle acting as the obstacle to the depths of their soul. In a way, it's quite similar to Dekim's games in Death Parade. You see, the Arbiters who directly interact with the souls of recently deceased humans guide them through a series of challenges, and use the results gained along with the memories of the dead to pass judgment on them. And these challenges come in the form of literal games. Dead humans arrive in pairs of two to be judged with all of their memories locked. As they play these games, not only are their memories unlocked one by one, they are also given the impression that the stakes of these games are their very lives. What at first seems like a strange but mostly harmless competition seemingly becomes a fight for survival. This raw outpouring of emotions, combined with the slow return of their memories, allows the Arbiters to judge them, and one or both human souls are sent for reincarnation or condemned to the void. Diving into heartache and pain to understand the core of who a person is. This is a central theme, a through line in both The Last Campfire and The Death Parade. You can see this in the thoughts that play out while you're solving someone's soul puzzle, and how they react to you after you save them from being forlorn.
The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you.
In both of these pieces of media, there's a theme of one heart connecting to another, an ember rekindling the dormant fire and light within a forlorn. Two souls connecting through death, and in some cases, in ways they could never have hoped to do while they were alive. And it serves to reveal a deeper truth, because in both cases, it is one specific heart-to-heart connection which turns out to be the most important. But this connection could only exist in abstract without the full weight of everything that came before. Loneliness, isolation, admiration, retribution, hatred, ambition, rejection, longing. A full gamut of emotions and intentions are on full display. A cornucopia which paints a beautiful and sorrowful picture of what we all face. And yes, while there are some things on display that are dark, misguided, or even reprehensible, it all plays a part in the grander journey. There are those you cannot help along your journey. There are those you cannot save from the path of destroying themselves and those around them. And yes, we can pass judgment on these things and even be justified in doing so. But it doesn't alter the course. It doesn't change the journey. For the entire game, there is someone who's been following you, watching you.
Through the mist, Ember could feel they were being watched.
They've put obstacles and roadblocks in the way of your journey, and brought partial ruin to a few people's lives, and when you finally confront them, you realize that in their own misguided and somewhat twisted way, they've been trying to keep you and everyone else safe. And once they fully understand how wrong they were, they in turn become forlorn, turning to stone before your very eyes. And so, as the forlorn sits in misery and self-loathing, you proceed to do what you've been doing all along for this entire journey. Compassion and kindness, despite the pain and betrayal. I can imagine that the nameless woman felt similar emotions towards Dekim, or perhaps it would be better to call her Chiyuki. As it turns out, she too was a dead human whose soul was meant for judgment, but due to the fact that she arrived with all of her memories unlocked, Nona and Dekim came up with a more unorthodox method of judging her soul, by wiping her memories and making her Dekim's assistant. And thus, as her memories began to return, she also began to remember her life, her passion for ice skating, the injury which brought her ice skating career to an end, the absolute despair she felt as a result, and how she eventually succumbed to that despair. So the final test Dekim put Chiyuki through in order to judge her soul might seem especially cruel, but despite the heartache and misery she experienced as a result, it was also a test for Dekim. A test to see whether or not he could overcome his limitations and gain a sense of humanity. I'm not going to go any deeper into the final episode than this, but watching the two of them sharing such a genuine moment of compassion and grief is one of the greatest things I have ever seen in any anime to this day. There are many details I have left out of this video, the main reason being that despite everything I've said, both The Last Campfire and Death Parade are best experienced firsthand. These are both stories about the depths of emotions and of the soul, about coming to peace with who you are and having the strength to face your own weakness, about compassion and cruelty and using the former to overcome the latter. These are stories that teach us that the correct answer to life's questions is simply to keep on living. Keep on facing the unknown, and that we have sufficient light within us to help each other overcome our darkness.